Today's Sunshine Note is titled, A Nasty Trick. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Luke chapter 12, verse 39 and 40. I stared lovingly into Melissa's eyes. Her coy smile made me feel as if I were the luckiest guy in the world. She reached for my hand and while squeezing it tightly, whispered, "I love you," in my ear. We walked hand in hand down the street. The air crisp and the birds singing, everything was right with the world. Glancing quickly at my watch, I saw that my next class wasn't for another 3 hours. So we stopped for something to eat, grabbed an ice cream cone, and browsed the art galleries downtown. Finding a quaint little shop with an outdoor seating area, we ordered a drink and chatted while people strolled by. Again, I casually checked my watch and saw that it still indicated I had 3 hours till class. What? I rushed back into the shop and asked the clerk the time. "Why, it's 4:35, dear," she said, and I realized that my class had started about 30 minutes before. I whirled onto the sidewalk in a panic, and there stood my loving girlfriend laughing her head off. "Something wrong with your watch?" she sweetly asked. It was then I realized that while she had been holding my hand and whispering in my ear, she had pulled out the little set pin on the watch, which stopped it from running. She still does this all the time. It's her favorite game. If I had been a little more aware, I would have noticed that my watch wasn't working the way it was supposed to. In this passage in Luke, Jesus calls us to be more aware. He says that we must always be ready for him because his second coming will be at an hour we do not expect him. If you're like me, sometimes I get caught up thinking that we have all the time in the world. I plan my life around things that are immediate and put off until later the things that seem as though they can get done whenever. But the fact is that building a relationship with Jesus isn't something we can just put off for later. He says we must always be ready for him because he will return at a time we won't expect. The watch of the world will soon stop, and every day that we have is just another day closer. To be ready for the second coming means having a relationship with Jesus right now. So if you haven't started already, why not begin today? May God bless you today.